Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to walk you through how I solved the CSWA practice problem 5.3. And FYI, I'm using SolidWorks for Makers 2026. All right, so it looks like, looking at the isometric view of this part, we have this base part that I'm going to work on first, and then I'm going to create a reference plane so I can draw this part up here. Okay, let's get started. Draw a sketch in the top plane. Looks like I'm not really centered there. All right, whatever. And I'm going to use a rectangle drawn from the center. All right, because that's where a lot of the symmetry is happening. Smart to mention a few things. And then for the corners, I'm going to use the chamfer feature because it looks like we have 4 of these. They're 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters and 45-degree angle. So here's sketch chamfer. We'll go with 6 millimeters and then just click on each of the corners. Hit enter. And then we want to add that slot. And before we add the slot, I'm going to add 2 center lines, one for mirroring the slot about this line, and the other one for centering the slot, the first slot that I'm going to draw. And there are 2 ways you can do these slots. You have the straight slot where you go center of arc to center of arc, and then there's the center point straight slot where you go from the center of the whole slot to the center of one of the arcs. And that's the one I want to use here because I want this, let me actually select it. Okay, there we go. Because I want the slot centered about this line here. So click on the center line, click somewhere, and then open up the slot, and then you can dimension it. So this is 8, the width is 6, and then from here to here is, if you look on the right side, it's 41. Okay, so that's fully defined, and so I want to select that whole slot, so I want to click somewhere inside of it, and then shift click or control click this center line, and then mirror entities will give you an exact copy on the other side. Okay, so then we're going to extrude that. Looks like 7 millimeters. Okay, and then I'll just click away. So we have the base, and I'll save. Probably good practice to keep saving. So now we need to create that reference plane so we can draw the top part up here. Now if we look, the reference plane goes through this line, which goes through the center of this arc and the origin. So I'm going to create a center line from that point to that point. So we can do that by starting a sketch on the top plane, and we'll do a center line. I guess I'll go from here. I'll go from this point here. Just have to hover over the arc to activate the center, and then going to the origin. Okay. So if we exit the sketch, then we have that center line there, so we can create a reference plane. We'll click on that center line. Already you can see it's drawing the plane, but just to drive it home, we'll select the top plane, and that way this reference plane will go through this line, but it'll be perpendicular, so perpendicular to this face. That's what we want. We want it to be perpendicular to that face. Hit enter to create the plane, and then we're going to start sketching in that plane. By the way, one trick that I learned is, like, if you reverse the order of this center line, because it's parameterized as far as I understand, and the way I did it is I clicked here on this point and then here on this point, so the start of this center line is like over here at the center of that arc, center of the arc that you can't really see anymore, like this arc. And then the origin was the ending point. And so that helps to define, when you create the reference plane, it helps to define the normal to this reference plane. So one time I did it the other way around, and I clicked on the origin and then this point right here, and the normal to this plane was reversed. So when I started to sketch in that plane, it was not quite the orientation that I wanted. Like when we go normal to this plane, it's kind of in the orientation that is nice to visualize. But if it gets reversed, I learned a shortcut, Control 8, which takes you to the other side of that plane. So it just does a 180 rotation. So that's kind of cool. All right, so let's start drawing the sketch. I'm going to use my mouse gesture using the right mouse button to enter the line mode. And we're going to draw, whoops. Okay, try going back into there. Okay, so we're going to draw this little part. I'm going to go all the way out to the end, like the very tip of the curved part, and then go perpendicular to that, perpendicular there, and then down. And then we'll complete the region. Okay, let's start smart dimensioning this. So one thing is, if you look at that distance from the end to the center of the arc, let's see if we can even get that distance here. The end to the center of the arc. Okay, if it's not giving us that point, what we can do is we can select this center line and just bring it up. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so another thing we could do is try smart dimensioning from this point to this point, and then we'll get that horizontal distance between them. All right, that's probably better. That looks like it's 20. Kind of messed up our thingamabob over here, but hopefully it'll straighten itself out without us having to correct it. All right, I'm still learning like you guys. You know what though? Maybe I will start to correct this. Okay, I'll drag this up. All right, so we will smart dimension this to 4. Oh wow, it's almost exactly 4. And then this is 20. Okay, and then it looks like we have an angle here from here to here. Is that right? Yeah, 36. Okay, the only thing left is that you can move this in and out, so because we haven't defined this length. This one was a little bit trickier to get, but if you look at the picture here, basically from here to, from here to the center of this circle is 8, and then the diameter of the outer circle is going to, the radius of the outer circle is how much farther we have to go to the tip here. And so that's going to be basically half of the diameter of that circle. And the diameter of this circle is just the width across here. And that width looks to be 14. So the radius of this arc right here is 7. So that's how much farther we would have to go. We'd have to go 8 plus 7, which is 15. Okay, so back over to here. That tells us this, make sure we get the right direction, is 15. Okay, we're fully defined, looks good. We'll go ahead and extrude this with mid-plane extrusion in both directions, and the width we said was 14. Okay, almost there. We just have to create that hole and then also shave off this part using an arc. So to do that, I'm going to select this face and start a sketch on the face. And we'll go ahead and actually we need some reference here because we're going to need to tell the circle where to be drawn, like where the center of the circle is. So I'm going to take this face right here, which has a key line that we need to get the reference, like to get the center of the circle at. And I'm going to convert entities to bring that, like that outline, up to this plane right here. Now it is just for reference, so I can select it and then just do for construction, but I think that's kind of an optional thing. And then what I'm going to do is, let me go normal to the sketch again. I'm going to create a circle centered at this line. And the radius, or the diameter of the circle is 8. And then here you can see that from this point, so from this line right here to the center is 8. You can see that right here. From this point on, like this edge right here, or this vertex in this particular view, out to the center of that circle, that's 8. Okay, good. So we're fully defined again, and now that'll punch the hole, so we just need this arc to shave off the rest of it. And the arc will have the same center, so let's make a centered arc using that same center. We'll just click anywhere on this side and then draw the arc as long as we're coincident to this side, because then we can select this side and the arc and make them tangent. So this side and this side and the arc, and then actually you can make them tangent right here as well. Back to being fully defined, that's great. So now we can start doing our, whoops, not our extrusion, our extruded cut. And we want to use this to cut through up to the end right here. We don't want to cut all the way through, because otherwise we're going to end up going into and cutting through this base here. So we're going to do up to next, and that's good for that hole. Let's do another extruded cut where we are using the same sketch because we want to get that arc there. And let's see if we can select the arc. Okay, we can select the arc. Good. Okay, is that doing what we want? We want... Okay, we can actually do a thin direction, I believe, if this works. Yes. So we can use the thin feature if we select the arc. Actually, another way you could do it, rather than selecting the arc, is just selecting these regions. So let me go out of the extruded cut and just select this region and this region. Maybe that's easier. Just click a couple things. Again, we're going up to next so that we only go to the end of this part of the solid. And there we go. Control 7 to get a nice isometric view. I'll click away to clean it up. If you don't like looking at these extra planes, you can hide them using the little eye looking thing and then click view planes, and that'll get rid of that plane. I think you can do the same thing for the center lines as well. So apparently this center line did not go away. Oh well. Okay, but I'm going to leave the plane in there anyway and check the mass properties. Let's see what we got. 40316. Let's check over here. 40316. All right, we're good to go. Okay, well, hope this video was helpful. If you are looking for something more professional than my ramblings, go look for a YouTube channel called Design With Roozbe. This guy does an awesome job at breaking down each practice problem. Take care and keep studying.